starting with Express because it's easier, and then Firefly is kind of more advanced and the more options. With Express, if you notice, you go up to the top left, it says AI Assistant Beta. And then also right here at the top is AI Assistant Beta. So you can click either this tab to the right or just click here. Let's make something great together. And so it's telling you that you can start by searching templates. Oh. So I could just say Christmas card with Santa, Christmas tree, and presents. And the minute I do that, you get a great variety of different styles of different Christmas cards. And this one pretty much kept to my prompt. There's Santa with Christmas tree presents. The other ones are just kind of a wide range of different kind of Christmas images. But if you scroll down, you'll see there's a lot of cute ones. There's some photo focused ones, all different styles, but a lot of great templates in Adobe Express. And just to let you know, do you have a question?
Oh, yeah, I do have a question. So when you type in this search, this is searching the template and it's not generating something based on the prompt you type in. Is that correct?
Right. So it's sort of like a two-step process where you kind of start off by it kind of taking you to a template, and then once I click on the template, I'll be able to fine tune it with text prompts.
Got it.
But yeah, it's quite nice, the variety. I mean, Express is making it quite easy to do any type of Christmas cards, holiday cards, flyers. It's all pretty nice. And I do like the range. So like I said, there's photo focused, and then there's cartoons, etc. But for the sake of what I want to do, I'm just going to click on this, and then you'll see once you click on it, it says edit with AI Assistant. I click that and I go here. And then just to remind everyone, you can get here by going to either new.express.adobe.com or just express.adobe.com. And this is the AI assistant. And so here it is. You'll see that these are all the different elements in the design. But when you scroll down to the bottom, it says describe what to create or edit. And so I have a bunch of different kind of prompts already made. So I'm curious about how well it will do if I say make Santa tree and presents made out of a felt material. So kind of a creative stylization. I'm also copying my next one. Now the thing is, to be honest with this, it's pretty amazing what it can do, but it does take a little time. So you have to be a little patient with some of the things that it does. I know everyone wants everything so quick, but
is there a premium plan to make this run faster, or it's just pretty much your standard Adobe subscription?
Yeah, I don't think there's a difference between, the free plan or the premium plan in terms of speed. You just get obviously more. So that did a pretty good job. So I think it's still doing it. You can see it's got that kind of wave going through, but it made Santa made out of felt. And at least one of the presents is kind of like a felt kind of.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It reminds me of those 1960s or 50s animations. There's Rudolph and all this.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So it looks like it's scanning the tree, and now it's scanning so wherever the little blue frame is where it's focusing. So I think it might be still scanning the tree, but it's for sure focusing on the presents. So it's trying to make those felt as well. Hopefully it'll disregard the holly. I didn't even say anything about holly, so I could even delete that from the design. Okay, so you get a little check mark. So it's saying this is the best we can do, but it still kept the kind of illustration here. This one had a nice felt look to it. Santa looks good with the felt. Like I said, you can go to any of the individual elements. So I can click on the holly and say, just get rid of it. And then from there, instead of like looking around for different things, you're in the AI assistant, you can just go down to the prompt area and you can say change as an example, change the white background to a light green color. And then that pops up. And the thing that I love about this is you'll see in this contextual taskbar, there's a variation of greens. So with a different kind of color hue. So I could say, well, maybe I want a lighter one, but let me just see what they kind of effect they have. Maybe the light one, well, maybe that one. And then of course, once you're here, you're not restricted to just what it gives you. You can click, and then I can add, like an exclamation point. And then even further, I can say edit the text, and then I could change the text to a totally different font altogether. And then this is like the text panel. So you can not only change the text, but you can change the kind of stylization, regular, bold, italic, and then of course, the size, and you can change the color. But while I'm here, I can say view all, and that expands, and then I get a whole, what you see is what you get, WYSIWYG kind of views of the different fonts to choose from. This might be better. Yeah, I like that one even more. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. But then, of course, you can go back and you can change the font or the text itself manually. Maybe capitalize Happy New Year. And then you could also select it. And if you click out of that, you go back to here. I'm just wondering if I go here and I say white, yeah, it will just focus on that particular thing. And then once that's selected, you'll see for text, so that's edit area. So that's the font, the color, the size. You can also do text flow, text layouts, position, and opacity. But if you go up to effects, you can generate these kind of AI text effects where you put texture inside, which I might do in a second, but you can also do shadow. So if I say custom, I can change the color from black to a green. And then of course, yes, it's a bit extended. So you just move the distance slider back. And then that might be a little light. So I can just click, I can go to custom, and I can drag this down to a darker green. And then maybe make the distance a little bit more so you can see it a little bit pronounced. Yeah, so that kind of makes it pop a little bit. Now, if I'm going to do a text effect, I don't want the font to be that thin. So maybe for Merry Christmas, I will go back and I will see what bold or black's not bad. And then I might make that a little bit larger. Okay, so 80 point, and then hopefully it'll just know to focus on that aspect. Generate text effects. Does it let, yeah, create your own. So yes, it has like blue, gold, marble, diamond, glitter, gold, drip, all these kind of effects. But if you just click on create your own, I can say,
So, Andrew, I have a question that's going to be relevant to what you're doing right now. So Ian have asked us, can you also have the text look like it was cut out of felt, similar to the way how sand is? Can that be customized in this?
most likely, since it has a lot of other textures that you can choose from. Here I'm now choosing Christmas presents. It's
Nice.
filled up the letters with different Christmas presents. And then you'll see on the bottom left that you have like 4 different variations. So it does take a little time to rebuild. Like, as you can see, it looks like it's just focusing on the M, but you do see a preview circle on the right side. But yeah,
So I
maybe
think
what,
similar to what you're doing now, we could probably prompt this in saying, make this looks like felt cut out.
Yeah.
And they'll
right.
probably end up doing
So
that.
I'm just curious to see what it does, but it's taking a bit of time.
Yeah.
So what I
It's a
can
good
do is,
feature though.
yeah, it's fun. Oh, there it is. Oh, so it is doing all of them,
Oh,
even the
wow.
small one.
Not just the highlighted text.
Maybe that's
Interesting.
why it's taking time. Okay, but I could say remove effect, and I could say try this from red and green felt, and then hopefully it understands what I mean.
And by the way, for those of you watching, if you have any other questions, drop them in the Q&A in the chat. I'm monitoring, I'm looking at those, so I'll make sure to ask Andrew those questions as they come up.
Great. But I love the Santa Claus made out of felt. Totally reminds me of forgot the name of the like two names that did the best kind of animations of the 50s or 60s. Uh, okay, so it did it. Um, it's subtle, but you can see that there's a little
Yeah.
bit of that kind of texture. And then, of course, if you go to more, you can copy and paste elements. And then if I go to, I think Zoom is kind of covering it for me. Yeah. Okay. If I go to download, that's once I click on download, choose PNG and then JPEG, PDF standard, and then PDF print. One thing I've learned is sometimes it's better to just download as a PDF print, best for printing, and then open it in Photoshop and then resave as a JPEG. And then you get like a higher quality JPEG. Um, Now, one thing I did want to show though, so if I say edit page, I don't want to animate all.
Do you know the size that is downloading this ad when you go and click download the different options, or is just whatever it gives you and you just have to kind of just, for example, do the print highest quality and resave as JPEG?
Right, like it's set to this kind of card size.
Okay.
Um, and then sometimes this kind of like resize thing pops up, but I'm just seeing kind of just generate similar. Yeah, these are just effects. But I did want to show animation while we're here.
Mhm.
So, so I could choose I think I could choose a text effect and then go to animation. Yeah. And then I could, so if you choose wobble, you get that kind of silly thing. So something like fade is more kind of what I tend to use for text.
Right.
And then you can choose the duration, how long it takes to kind of come in. And then, if you choose none, it kind of just flashes. So I usually choose character. I like the way it kind of like spelling itself out. And then if you choose word, it kind of jumps faster. So character I find to be the most satisfying for that. But that's a nice effect, so you could do something
Mhm.
like that. And then if I had independent packages or toys or presents, I could click on them. I think this is part of the Santa image, and these are a grouping. But if I had independent or individual presents, I could click on them and then animate those. So once you've done that animation, um, let me just double check that it's there. Yeah. And then, so you set the in, the loop, and the out if you want. So in is, as it comes in. So if I change this a little bit, you'll see that it speeds up or slows down. And then I usually do an out. So I might even do fade just to kind of keep it that same look. But what I'll do is for the fade, once again, bring the duration down and then kind of fades. Yep. And so from there, when you go to download, you'll then see that it says MP4, best for video. And then usually it says like custom original size. That's more like the quality. So I always click on that and then choose 1080p or 4K.
Mm.
And I think nowadays 1080p is fine. Maybe if it was something that I had created for YouTube, I would choose 4K. But for Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, most social networks, 1080p is appropriate. Because in fact, if you do download as a 4K and you upload it to, say, Facebook, they will probably convert it down to 1080p, and then you might not get the quality you want. So you might as well just do it yourself. So I say download, and then I'll have that as my own animation. And then I'm going to get into some pretty cool stuff with Firefly. So yeah, that's just downloading. I'm letting it download, and then I'm jumping over. Okay, cool. So yeah, Santa Claus made out of felt. And then I switch over to my Firefly tab. And so as I was saying before, you You start with create. It reminds you that you have unlimited generations in Firefly until January 15th. Thanks, Adobe. And then if you click the generate tab, you have generate image, generate video, generate soundtrack. Pretty nice. And then it'll show you like a generation history of some of the images you've worked on. So I work on quite the variety of images and surreal imagery. So to start with, I just hit generate image. And like I was saying before, it was the Firefly Image 5 preview is like the best and most recent Firefly image model. And then I was going to also show Gemini 3 with Nano Banana. So I just start with that. You can choose aspect ratio, widescreen, landscape, square, portrait, vertical. I'm going to choose square. And then you could choose a reference image for composition or style. Here, I'm going to, in the prompt area, show you how good Firefly Image 5 has become with stock type of images. So I have like a HD portrait of a female fashion model. I just hit generate, and then it does that kind of shimmering look, showing you that's preview. I think it should have something like a little twirling circle in the middle or something. Some people might like wonder if it's really working.
There's a circle on the bottom right, but I do have another question for you, Andrew.
Yes.
So I see you're using the Firefly
Oh, that's good.
Image
Look at
5.
that. Yeah.
That looks amazing. Firefly Image 5 preview it says on yours. When I was testing this out a few days ago, maybe about 5 days ago, I didn't see the Image 5. It was only the Image 4 that was available. Could this be because you're part of Adobe preview program that you're seeing that, or
No,
is it
I do
available
think
now?
it's no, I do think it's available for everybody. So
Okay.
you might need to just kind of refresh
Okay.
or clear cache and cookies type of thing. But it might be just a simple kind of update by refreshing the page, because I do
Got it.
believe that that's been a public announcement that Adobe made a while ago.
Oh, okay.
So that's highly detailed, realistic HD portrait female fashion model. So it looks like a stock photo. Pretty good.
hmm
Um, and then I wanted to show you just the difference between. So they have all these built-in partner models now, quite good. And I believe Flux Point 2 Pro dropped today, so that's another good one.
Okay.
But if I go to Gemini 3 with Nano Banana, which is quite great, and then I just hit generate again, we'll see what Gemini 3, which is Google's Nano Banana Pro model, see what they do with that same exact prompt. And for me, the whole fun of all this AI stuff is not knowing. So you try to be as exact as possible. Yeah, completely different image. And so you are very descriptive with your prompt, but it's always kind of a surprise. Sometimes it's a bad surprise where you're kind of struggling with the model not, the partner model not understanding your prompt, and you got to keep tweaking it and tweaking it. But other times it's pretty clear. So this, also looks like a photo. And then,
So,
of
Andrew,
course, you're saying?
pardon interruption. We have a few questions coming in that I think will be
Sure.
relevant to what we're doing right now. Christine has asked us, I have a question regarding attribution. When using AI feature of Adobe Express, how is that conveyed in the final output as it has been created using AI?
Um, so Express as opposed to Firefly, or, I mean, it's the
It was with
same.
the specific Express, but I think like that could probably, translate to Firefly as well
Yeah,
when you're
I
using
think
AI.
what it is when you're when you're in Express and you're working with those templates. Those are all like templates that have been basically designed for Adobe. So it's similar to like using Adobe stock. So they have, you have rights to use those images. And then, with the AI, this AI, even though it looks like a stock image, is being generated probably based on different stock that Adobe has. But do be aware, though, that is when you're using like the Firefly models. So when you're using Firefly Image 5, 4, Ultra, 4, and 3, then as you can see at the top, it says commercially safe. And then partner models created by others, you're going into the world of them accessing maybe elements on the internet to get that kind of content imagery. So Firefly, you're commercially safe. If that's important to you, then you can stay focused on the Firefly image models. But if you want to branch out and try the different other ones, just be aware that they don't have the same kind of policy.
So the follow-up to that one that she asks is, but is there any way that viewers can identify that AI was used to create that output? For example, if you're using this picture or the one before that was generating with the Firefly Image
I get
5,
it. Yep.
yeah, is there
So,
attribute to that?
right. So on Adobe's side, they have the Content Authenticity Initiative.
Hmm.
So you could do a search for that, and then I believe you can upload the image, and it can tell you if it's, generated with AI or what elements are generated with AI. Beyond that, you could do a search as well and find out if there are other non-Adobe similar content authenticity sites that would scan an image and then let you know how much or what elements are AI generated.
So I think what it comes down to in the end is the attribution parts have to be part of the creator who's using it to identify that this was AI generated, AI created, unless, you want to hide that information. I don't think there is something right now that just posted clearly like this was AI generated. The
Right.
only thing that I kind of see along those lines would be, for example, a AI video generated with Sora. It will have like Sora logo somewhere. Uh,
Correct.
but I don't see anything with still images. So that's just something about the attribution you have to be aware
Yeah.
of.
Right. And so it's a mixed reality where there are people who are truly concerned,
Hmm.
and they might even state if they're posting that this image was created with, generative AI. Um, and what happens is, like I said previously, if you use the Firefly models, they are commercially safe. If you start using the partner models, a lot of those kind of, to be honest, commercially safe attitudes are out the window. I mean, and I guess what happened was when people brought up that issue way back when,
Hmm.
technically AI imagery cannot be copyrighted. So if it cannot be copyrighted, you can't, you can't kind of pinpoint, there are people who might say that's my original photo. So with this image itself, there could be someone who could say, that's my original photo I took of a model. And then that would be an issue that they would have to take up with, Gemini 3 or whatever the partner model is, if they were to see it online. I do think that this one is probably just kind of made up of composites of what they
Hmm.
consider a ultra realistic HD portrait of female fashion model. But that's something that you might have to take on a per case basis. But to be honest, you are dealing with a big company. So I mean, if you're dealing with someone like Google, not sure
Yeah,
how
that's a
far you'll
Herculean
get to
effort.
go to.
Yeah. There's another follow-up to that from a different attendee. Kevin asked us, so did the December 1st deadline on Firefly partner model free credit get extended to January 15th?
Yes, that was the thing I
Okay.
showed you when I
Yep.
we entered back.
Yeah.
So yeah, so originally I think it was December 3rd, then it was December 15th, and then for the holidays they made it all the way to January 15th now. So, and then just to review, anytime you create an image, so the top right is to download. Next to that is the icon for Photoshop, so that will open in Photoshop on the web. If you go to top left, there's edit, so you can edit the image, such as like generative fill, and you can use it as a reference image for another iteration of this type of series. If you go down to the bottom, you can see that you can save the favorites. If you click share options, you can copy the image to video, which is good, and then submit to gallery. So when you submit to gallery, it's like a Firefly gallery. That doesn't mean that you automatically are in the gallery. It means you submit to gallery, and then there's like a review that will accept it or decline it. They don't notify you. It's just you go back, and all of a sudden you might be surprised and see your own work. And there it is once again, open in Photoshop Web, open in Express, and then you can rate your own image. So you can say thumbs up, thumbs down. And I do believe that if you say thumbs down or even thumbs up, yeah, they do say what worked well, say aesthetically pleasing, high quality, prompt, accurately interpreted, closely matches requested style, exceeds expectations, etc. And then you just submit. And if you didn't like it, it would be the same type of thing. What did not work? Um, okay, so that's dealing with that type of imagery. So I wanted to show you what it can do now with, say, an illustration. So going back to Firefly Image 5, I make sure that I select the prompt at the bottom, delete that. So it's a illustrative psychedelic poster in 60s style. So I wanted to show, first was kind of stock focused, I can create that, but I can also create illustrations. And I do believe that with the Firefly Image 5 preview model, text is better than it's ever been before. So you now will be able to have clearer text without, I don't know what this means at the bottom. It's like they made up their own band or something, band name. But, it's pretty good, stylization. Looks like it could have been made in Adobe Illustrator. And then, of course, you can, tweak the prompt. Let's see. Or just hit generate and it'll generate another version. But I did some ones that looked a lot like, real, like Cream or some other kind of 60s psychedelic bands, concert posters for San Francisco. It was pretty good. Yeah, it's not bad. So different style, it's kind of cut out style, whatever. And then just out of curiosity, if I switch over to Gemini 3. So now I'm also curious. I'm going to do Gemini 3, but I also want to try the new Flux 2. So if I go to Gemini 3, keep it in square format, I just hit generate. You should get like a very different kind of look, even though it's focusing on illustrative psychedelic poster 60s style. So yeah, Google's Gemini 3 with that. Yeah, see, so that's pretty good. So Electric Sunshine Band Live to Fillmore. So that looks even more. And look, San Francisco's solid. There's no weird kind of misspelling or anything. And it keeps it balanced. And it even has a nice kind of paper texture. So like that. So I can just hit download.
I actually do like this one a lot.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of, it looks like a real 60s poster.
Yep.
But I'm curious to see. So if I go beyond Gemini 3, go down to Flux 2, and then I hit generate, it could have a totally different look, even though it's trying to be like an illustration style. But that's the fun of it all, is the different partner models all have kind of different things that they excel with. It's similar though. It's kind of similar to the Nano Banana one. Not bad though. Okay, so then here's kind of I did a whole series of this one that I really liked, which was fun. A little ode to Los Angeles too. So we're gonna try it in Firefly Image 5, but where it really gets good is with Gemini. But this one, I did a series of a stylish cat floating gracefully in the air above Los Angeles. It's quite a fun.
So here's a question I have for you, Andrew. So I played with this in the past, right? There's an option once it generates something to go and bump up the resolution, and the download tends to be a little bit lower res on the previous, Firefly iteration. Has that been improved? Have that changed? What's your? That's
Yeah.
a really cool cat picture.
Right. So you got that. So what I tend to do is, I'm going to answer your question, but just what I tend to do before I do anything else is I just make sure that I go up to top right and download, so I don't,
Mhm.
jump out of it. But I do, if you do notice up top, it says gallery, generate, and edit. So if I go to
Hmm.
edit, I can upload that image, and I believe I can resize it as well.
Okay.
I can resize it. But if I'm just going to go back to generate. So, okay, so that was Firefly Image 5. And then, so Gemini 3 Nano Banana should be even better. Like this cat is fun, but like, the
Mm.
tail and the leg look a little weird in the back. I think Gemini is a bit kind of sharper with details. But I did a whole series of these. These were kind of fun to do. Stylish cat floats gracefully in the air above the Los Angeles skyline on a sunny day. So yeah, and then the thing is, if you hit the generate button, I do think you'll probably get a totally different cat. So you got like this one where it kind of looks like he's sitting on an invisible table, but the next one hopefully will be like kind of floating in the air or standing. Oh, that's cute. Floating and not in a pool, but in the air. And
Here's
then
a
out of
great question for you, Andrew. So Christine asks, can you use AI to tie a series of photos seamlessly into a GIF or .GIF or .GIF? For example, if I have 100 photo of an osprey eating a fish, can I easily turn them into a .GIF using a prompt?
not directly with the apps I'm focusing on today. So
Okay.
I don't think there's the availability of that in Express or Firefly. For sure, though, if you go to Microsoft Copilot, Perplexity AI, ChatGPT, Claude AI, and you ask that question, they might tell you exactly what AI app there is that can do that. Because nowadays, with the way everything is updating in I would never say no. I would
True.
imagine that they totally have it. You just have to find out which site does it, which app does it. Okay, so out of curiosity, I'm going to try the Flux Pro. Let's see what we get with that generation. And then I have another one that's fun, and then I'm going to take it into video. So that'll be a good one. But yeah, I don't think people know how helpful AI has become. I think people are still kind of, relying on. So that became like a cartoon. And the
Yeah.
Hollywood, I noticed Hollywood sign got mangled. It's not the best. You could probably just retype that, go to Illustrator and get the kind of type look. But the illustration's pretty cute, except if you look closely, we see one leg, two leg, and three leg, and a tail. So three legs and a tail, very casually sipping the juice floating above LA. Still cool, but you know. So then
Also, the reflection in the glasses and the sunglasses doesn't fully make sense, but hey, it's all good.
yeah, right. So the sunglasses are also like not reflecting clouds or reflecting like a high-rise building or something.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm just curious. So before I jump into the next image, if I put in parentheses, make sure the cat has only four legs. So I'm always curious, like if you put what they call like a negative prompt or a directive prompt, will it respect that or will it ignore that? But yeah, I mean, we don't have the time to, so that's cool. Now that's interesting. So once I put that in there, the look became very similar to what you get with Nano Banana Pro. So
Hmm.
it's interesting. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to Firefly, and so here's another kind of variation on this theme. Going back to Firefly Image 5, stylish cat wearing goggles is floating near the bottom of the deep sea. So we have a deep sea cat now. So I did a series of these before this one. That's kind of weird. So yeah, that's kind of not what I expected. But that's a look, right? So that's a look. But then if I go down to Gemini 3 and I hit generate, the same text prompt, this should be quite creative. And you'll notice, just to kind of let you know about like the whole concept of text prompting, sometimes you can try like very minimal text prompts. Just ask, cat floating at the bottom of the sea or whatever with goggles on. But I do think that the more descriptive you are, the better. So in this case, I wrote stylish cat wearing goggles floating near the bottom of the deep sea while surrounded by exotic fish, algae, plankton, and sea urchin. And then it is a dreamy cinematic atmosphere. The overall style is vibrant, whimsical, and playful, blending realism with a touch of fantasy. So balancing all those kind of descriptives, I think can help give a bit more depth to your image. Whereas if I just said a stylish cat wearing goggles floating near the bottom of the deep sea. And then I'm going to hit generate again to just see what we get.
Andrew, I have a question. Don't you think when we do too much of descriptive prompt, it starts missing like stuff?
It depends. I mean, I think in this case, the text prompt is kind of focused. I think if you get too wordy with the text prompt and there's like elements that don't adhere to what your intention of the image is, then it can be a distraction. Yeah. Like in this case, you have this cute cat, exotic fish, and then because I said plankton and sea urchin, this thing in the top left
Is the
kind of ugly, kind of not the cutest elements. It's not too bad, but it's kind of like weird compared to kind of the feel of the rest of it. Of course, I can, go back in and generative fill, take it out. I'm just saying that, I might go back, look at my text prompt and say, maybe I'll get rid of like sea urchin or, plankton or whatever, if there's something I don't want. So, but in this case, I'm going to download it. I might have already downloaded it anyways.
So we got a comment. Steven said that love the tank, but where is the dive mask? Very great question. Cat's probably holding his breath.
Right. I mean, obviously this is fantasy. So you're,
Yep.
it's like one thing or another. I mean, you could say, I could add that to the text prompt, with the mask and, oxygen tank, whatever. But I mean, that's funny though. There is like an oxygen tank here, but there is no kind of like mask for the mouth.
Yeah.
But it's all fantasy. Okay, so what I'll do is I will then go back to the main kind of Firefly. And then once you go to generate, I can say generate video. And then when you go to generate video, first you have Firefly video, then you have, once again, all the different partner models. So I'm just curious, if I go to Firefly video, just always make sure to check. I always call it being professionally paranoid. Always check your settings. Because what happens is sometimes it'll default to like the lowest quality and it's like 540p. No, thank you. So I'll say like 1080p. Sometimes, when I'm presenting, I might choose 720p just for speed, but I still like better quality. So 1080p, and then I want square. So knowing I'm going to use that image as reference, I'm choosing square for a square video. Sometimes widescreen looks good, but once again, social is not the best with it. My biggest gripe or request I have though is I find all this stuff to be wonderful, but the duration is too slow for some of them. So if I choose Firefly Video, they only let you do a 5-second one. And so if I say frame, I go to your device, and then these are ones that went to the desktop, and I want the, that one. So just say open. So that's the first frame. And then as you can see here, you can also have a motion reference. So you can upload a video if there's something that, say you had done another cat and he was swimming from the left side coming back to the right side, you could use that as a reference for motion. And then you can see on the left, you have all different motion presets. So zoom in, zoom out, all that. But I tend to like to just want to describe. So what I'll tend to do is just hover over my image, take a good look, and just say, cat is floating slowly upwards. Comma, tropical fish and jellyfish are swimming across, and sun rays are beaming downwards. Just fix that, copy that, and then of course just hit generate, and you can notice at the bottom it's using 0 credits for now, and then you get this cute like little animated emoji, fluffy hairy creature moving from side to side. Maybe I should have chose 720p for the presentation, but shouldn't be too bad. And then you do see in the preview at the bottom a little ring, so it's more than half. So yeah, so with video, the thing that is, like I said, fun is you have so many different partner models to choose from. Like I said, the only bad thing is usually the duration is a bit shorter than what I would like. I'd really like to make videos that are 15 seconds, 30 seconds. So once it pops up, you can just click and then you get preview. Maybe I shouldn't have said slowly upwards because it's going a little too slow. I want it to float up. I think that the fish and the other like jellyfish are swimming by nicely. But in 5 seconds, it's just a tease.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can download this and integrate it in with like Instagram Boomerang or something and do different kind of loop effects, or even in Apple, just a photo app, you can certainly do that with video. That
Or
would be
like,
the way to, somewhat extend this a little bit further.
or like to even make like another variation of it, like
Yeah.
just keep generate and then try to stitch them, merge them together. Okay, so that's Firefly. And then when I go down to VO 3.1, then it's 720 or 1080p, and then you only get widescreen or vertical. So if I do vertical, then it's good for Instagram, Facebook, Reels, but it cuts off the image a bit. And then the duration, the highest I can go is only 8 seconds, so that's a bit frustrating. Keeps that image, keeps the same prompt, and then what I could do is say cat is floating upwards, get rid of the word slowly. Tropical fish and say jellyfish are swimming across. And then instead of Sunday, I think I have like autofill. Sun rays are beaming downwards. So when I hit, so you'll notice this one, when I go to hit generate on the bottom right, it says uses 400 credits. So the partner models aren't giving you the free generation till January 15th, that is only the Firefly video model. So I do think you can use some of the, for generating an image, you can use the partner models for 0 credits, some of them.
Yeah.
But when it comes to video, they're more strict. So here we are in Adobe Firefly with the VO 3.1 model for video, 1080p quality, choosing the vertical aspect ratio. Duration, you only get 8 seconds for now, and it is creating the video. Now, one thing I did not state, because I'm not sure it would come off that well here in the Zoom meeting, but you'll notice there is a thing that says audio, and the tab is pulled to the right, so it's on. So technically, I could try that for the next one, is I could do like a comma, and then I could say, make the sound of bubbles and swooshing sounds, and it would add that to your video. So that's one thing I've been very much enjoying with VO 3.1 is not only generating the video from a static image, but not only can you also say, make the character speak, you can also tell it to create some type of like background music. Oh, it did even make noise even without asking.
Nice.
There it goes. Now go up. Why so slow? What do you lazy cat? Okay. I don't know why I did full screen. I wanted to download it. There we go. So downloaded.
So here's a question I have for you. In playing around with all this for both still and video, is there a favorite model that you like to use, or you just use and try different ones? But in trying those out, is there one that you're particularly drawn to that you're always like, wow, I gotta try this one first, or I gotta go to this one every time just to see what, how it's
Sure.
gonna produce?
Sure. So this is one of my favorites. So VO 3.1,
Okay.
because I like it. I do. It's kind of mixed feelings though. Like in one way, I don't like the limited aspect ratio,
Mm-hmm.
and I wish it was longer duration. I don't like 8 seconds. I wish it was 15, 30. But no, the most you can get for most of these are like 10 seconds. I don't think you get a 15-second. But I do wish in general the duration was longer. And then the audio function is great though. So
Mm-hmm.
like even without saying it, it added the kind of bubble noise,
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, I could be very focused and state, okay, make a bubble noise and swishing water noise, make I've had it so, I did one for Thanksgiving where I had a fish swimming and it was saying that the fish was singing, I'm glad I'm not a turkey, because it was Thanksgiving. And and it sang like it really gave like a melody to it. And I think it gave they created music for me. And
Nice.
so, I mean, it's a lot of fun that way. But I'm curious now, like if I go here from VO, I have had some nice ones with the Ray 3.
Mm-hmm.
Sora I've found to be a bit lacking in quality a bit, even though the Sora app is now becoming like a kind of community social app. That's a lot of fun. I've gone there. I've done a little peek at, but I believe this might be new today, Runway.
Okay.
So I'm very curious about that. So if I go to Runway Gen 4.5, once again, they limit you. So like I can't even choose a different resolution. It's 720p. That's all I get. And it's widescreen. That's kind of weird that they don't give me a different aspect ratio options, and only 5 seconds. But if I hit generate, we'll see what quality we get with that. But yeah, that's the most frustrating element is limitations.
So yeah, Andrew, I think some people have already slowly waved goodbye to us for now, but let's maybe make this the last one and do a quick Q&A to see if there's any
Yeah,
more
this is
questions.
pretty much the last one.
Yep.
Maybe they got confused when it said recording stopped. I don't know, but shouldn't be too long, especially because they only give me 720p resolution.
But it is, at least it doesn't use your credit.
Well, I didn't even check. They might have. I didn't check.
Oh,
Well,
no,
it does say uses
it
zero
says zero,
credits.
yeah.
Yeah. Some do, some don't. Yeah. I think it's because it's a new feature, but Come on now. If you're going to be a new feature, give me 10 seconds, vertical or square aspect ratio, and 1080p. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. But it's the same prompt, cat floating upwards, tropical fish. And then I'll, just jump back into the room after this for questions, unless I should keep screen sharing. But the one thing that I do believe is different, I showed you before with the static image, when I clicked on edit, you could upload an image to like resize. I do think just today they announced that if I click on edit here while in the video kind of workspace, I think you can tweak the timeline a little bit so you can edit the video itself. So that's pretty cool. I think you do it by text prompts too, which is interesting. So I could say speed up or, get rid of this element, Sorry, this is taking time. Hopefully it's not too bad.
It's all right. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to just drop them in the Q&A or chat pod. Let's see.
It is only 720p. You think it would be done by now?
So there's one question that just came in a little bit a moment ago. Will you be showing us how to upload a photograph and generate a scene that uses part of photo and AI for the rest?
No.
Okay.
No, since we're at the hour and we're going to go into other general Q&A. So that's kind of weird. It completely disregarded my original reference image and just kind of created its own. It's kind of cute in some way. I wish you could add sound. I mean, obviously I could bring it back into another one and add sound, but it's just kind of, yeah, I guess it didn't have a reference area for a reference image. So it's just kind of creating it from the prompt. Still fun though. Okay. Are there other questions?
No, I don't see any others at the moment.
And what was the previous question though?
Oh, they
gonna
were
show us?
asking if you can, will you be showing how to upload photograph or generate a scene and use part of a photo? So I think it's more of like the reference photo idea.
Yeah, so this is one thing I had a blast with. So I did want to show this anyways too. So that's a good question. Sorry to say no when I meant to say yes.
Okay.
So if I go back to generate image and I go to Gemini 3 Nano Banana, you'll see the reference image doesn't even have the cat anymore. So I can just get rid of the prompt. But if I go here, let's see if I can find the image of... Okay, so as this one. So here's like a photo of me at an art opening years ago, just me on the phone. And then, so it's just, me, black coat, shirt, got the phone, just, smiling, talking. And then I could say, change the coat to, all right, why don't you give me an idea, Art? What should I make the coat out of? What should I change it to?
Make it into a Santa coat.
There we go. We got holidays on the mind here.
Yep. Keeping with the
To
season.
red Santa coat and add a Santa hat. Is that what you call his hat?
Yep.
Top of my head. While keeping the same hand and so I'm not even sure you need to do it, but I say change the coat to red Santa coat and add a Santa hat on top of my head while keeping the same hand and face. So I just want it to be clear that, I just want to change certain elements. But this is where Gemini 3 Nano Banana Pro really excels. What I did is I had my wife take a photo of me like in an action pose. And then I did a whole series where I said, turn me into chocolate or made out of pizza. Yeah, see, look at that. So it keeps the exact hand and face gesture And then completely without any selection needed, it swipes out into a Santa, which I should totally use this for my Facebook profile.
Yeah, but this, I mean, if you have to manually do selection, bring everything in, is it's going to be difficult. It'll take hours to
Yeah, it's
do.
quite cool,
This
right?
is much faster.
Okay, so for the sake of fun, what else do I change it to? I'm not sure if you were to say like turn me into a green Grinch, if it knows who the Grinch is. Any other ones? Let's see. Um, give me sunglasses and change the coat. Any other ideas, Art?
Not at the moment. Not at the
Anyone
moment.
else who's still watching? Any
No,
ideas?
there's still a few around.
Change the coat to a. Okay, I got it. Psychedelic. Swirling. Colorful pattern. Go back and add W. Change the code to psychedelic swirling color for pattern. And add a black top hat. Top hat, 2 words?
Oh, let's see, two words to see what it does.
There we go. So we got Santa me, and then we got psychedelic me.
Also, I need to let you know that I'll need to sign out soon because I need to head out to a photo shoot.
Oh, fun. That sounds
Yeah.
great.
So wait for this to finish and I'll probably just sign
Yeah,
out.
this will be the last. But there we go.
This is a really great job.
Yeah, like I said, you don't have to do any selections. So,
Very nice.
should I just say stop sharing and jump back into the room?
Yeah, I don't see any questions right now. People appreciate what you're doing. A lot of thanks. Some people already left the room. For those of you still here, appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. If you have any other questions or comments, last one. Yep, everyone just say thank you.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah,
Great job, Andrew.
last webinar with Ben Q for 2025.
Yep.
Thanks, Ben
Thank you so
Q.
much, Andrew. Thank you, Art. I think
All
it
right.
was a great webinar. People learned a lot. It was fun. I enjoyed the different AI stuff that came up. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, and I would just say, the main thing is just, play with it, So you could start off in, Express to use the AI assistant when you want to create a card like that. You go to Firefly when you want to have fun with images and video. And then what you could do is you could play around with the static image and the video. And then when you want to work on something for even a client, use the kind of play time as a way to learn. And then what you've learned from that, you can do it professionally for a client later on.